What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Essentials. My name is Jake, and I'm joined here by an esteemed cast of individuals here at the casting desk. By J-Max, who is usually behind the steering wheel to these streams, but today and tonight he is joining me on the casting couch, as well as Stu is going to be producing instead. So it's going to be an amazing show, as we have two teams here that are going to be fighting for a qualification spot in the poLANd.tf 2025 coming up in about 2 months. But before we get into the game, of course, J-Max, how you feeling? How do you do? What's the general vibe?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I mean, the stakes for this match are, I won't say astronomical. The winner goes to LAN. The loser, maybe they get spectator tickets. Dunno. This is very possibly the highest stakes match that these players have played. Win or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home. And yeah, this is going to be quite interesting to see, because obviously going to a LAN event, it can be quite costly. And if you can just go and have that expense done for and written up, then you're good to go. Like, you only have to really worry about traveling and then lodging and then maybe some food. And usually that doesn't cost that much in Poland when you go there, especially for the location, which is Łódź. So it's going to be definitely interesting which team takes the first place here. And as you said, like, if the stakes are this high, I mean, it does save you quite a bit of money. If you do get spectator tickets, I mean, you can still play, but not in the tournament, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and I don't really know if, I hope that both of the teams are ready for this, but this could be a fantastic match. I just hope that the teams can live up to the billing we've given it.
I mean, you gassing up both teams, it's always good to have someone do that, because we need to introduce the teams as well. So on the side of red, we have the Curse of Ra, who are currently higher seeded team in the ETF2L. So they have a basically on paper higher chance of taking this one home. A team managed and led by Ramed himself, which is probably why the name is the way it is. And then we have Aaron on that team, Ramed, Happy, Karen, Fnutek, and Freaky Mike, rounding off the roster for Curse of Ra. And on the other side, we have Mr. McVities, last standing hobnobs, which is going to shorten down to McV, because this is a mouthful and we're going to be talking a lot this tonight, so this might as well just save our vocal cords. And right now we can see Whip Cactus Official, Zeno, Aelker, Shadow, Apollo, and Not Steven rounding off that roster. So they are definitely going to be playing a little bit from behind this game, but I'm excited to see what they manage to cook up on these maps, because we're going to be going down to Bagel, followed up by Snake, and Sultry being the last one.
Yes, I think Curse of Ra are Div 2 and McVities are Division 4B, I think. So there is a bit of a gulf, but equally, they've beaten the teams that they had to beat to get here. So it's not as if one team is totally unproven and the other are leagues ahead of them. So this, I hope it'll be a close game. I would be surprised if it was totally one-sided.
Yeah, I agree. And, considering the maps we're playing, Bagel being one of those maps that is kind of crazy whenever you're watching sixes and it's down to this map, really a lot of upsets happen on those newer maps, such as Bagel. Snakewater, maybe not so much, and Sultry being the decider. So it could go down to all 3 games. We don't really know. It's up to the players to show us what they can do. And as you said, McV being a little bit, playing with a bit of a handicap here. Could be interesting to what they get to say. Of course, shout out to Not Steven, who is one of our esteemed casters. So hey, you gotta give him a shout out, and I'm gonna root for McV. I mean, always root for the underdog. That's just like how a show is being done. J-Max, you root for the underdogs and hope they do well.
Of course. And Not Steven on our first map, Bagel, is going to be one of the players to watch. He's on Soldier alongside Aelker for McVities, and so much of the time, Bagel seems to be defined either by the combos funneling across the center point or by the soldier bombs coming in from every single side, front, back, whatever, and wrecking havoc. So it'll be very interesting to see what McVities have lined up in store for us with that.
We should be ready to go almost, as both teams have readied up. So we're just simply waiting for that ringing bell, and we can get this show on the road. To repeat ourselves, this is the qualifier for poLANd 2025 in Łódź, hosted in about 2 months' time. There are more information ready online, as we're going to be watching McV take on Curse of Ra as we're getting to go. J-Max, how about you walk us through this rollout?
I'm going to be watching Happy on this first mid, rolling out for Curse of Ra, and just entirely standard so far. Some spam across onto the enemy combo and sticking out the right house to deny the soldier aggression. Meanwhile, counterpart Zeno on the opposite side is just throwing spam across the point. And we're just fighting for that point as Karen comes in on the left side and nice, takes out Shadow. Good start, takes out the scout. So that's one scout fewer to deny the aggression. And Curse of Ra have just taken over the center point really. They're just locking everyone out, but starting a forward hold. This is a one mid for Curse of Ra easily. It's El Kid.
Trying to get them done. Yeah. No, he was trying to, but he was getting juggled there. Now, all the left flank is kind of low on HP. It's just being used by not Steven, going for a huge bomb on the other side. He's going to get cleaned up here by Happy. It seems like Chris are able to stabilize, only losing out one player for the price of 2 on the enemy team. And yeah, what you said before, Curse of Ra just kind of strong-arming themselves onto the point, not facing too much opposition. I think that McVities are kind of giving them too much respect. I mean, you can see Happy just cleaning up another kill here on the scout, so just holding out that flank entirely by himself.
The Uber's been forced from McVities so far back.
Trying to make use out of it. They're pushing in, but now they decide not. It's going to run out before we're able to do much damage. Jumping is Aelker, looking for a shot onto Ramit, but Ramit's just going to surf this one away to safety. Shadow coming in, Zeno as well. They have nothing to lose at this point. Going hardcore for Ramit. Ramit is just have fancy footwork, dodges all the damage. And once again, Curse of Ra with full Uber in tow. No one died on their side. Point in the pocket. Looking pretty confident so far.
That's a very worrying start for McVities. They've not even capped the point for a single second so far. Got 4 smiles back, threw everything into the kitchen sink at Ramed, couldn't get the Uber force, and now they just have to sit back and try and get through this, I was about to say impenetrable wall, but LS has very much gone down. Sticks on the right side are not really keeping them out as the scouts try to come through, but Flutek gets the drop.
Oh, that's the spaghetti. Spaghetti's done. It's all the floor, trying to milk it far too long, and now with no medic, but all the other players alive. They really don't have much to do. I mean, they're trying to get on the point right now, maybe get some kind of a cap time, but they're getting bullied out by the scout. Alice is just coming in hard, taking down Steven. Shadow's trying to put some pot shots back, but they're still being too afraid to actually walk in. Apollo's back on the battlefield here, J-Max, but he's far forward and doesn't have that Uber charge. Jumping in, huge is Aelker.
Oh, takes so much damage.
Robin solo in HP, grabs that med back, surfs again, but he gets finally forced. Good job by Aelker getting that Uber charge advantage for his team.
I mean, it's an Ubercharge advantage, but at what cost? McVities are forced into their own spawn. They're just locked so far back, and Curse of Ra, they have an Uber disadvantage, but McVities don't yet have that Uber to hammer it home with, as Happy bombs in and bombs out into the grave. Nice try.
And is doing his best. Still in control is a Curse of Ra, but seems that able on the point McVities are able to get on the point, get some of the cap time and solidify a little bit. Uber charge is going to be in their advantage. They're holding quite far forward, slightly different hold than Curse of Ra had before, with just a demo holding one of the flanks and the entire team on the other side. But we'll see what Cursed are going to do in this situation. They're rolling in through the underside here. Karen leading the charge, but he's gonna pay the price. Exchanging with 1-for-1 there.
Oh no.
100 kills being exchanged, but Cursed is gone now. Apollo on 11 HP is being forced here though, so Uber's about gonna be quite equal, but the drop on Ramed is definitely gonna slow down Cursed quite a bit, trying to reclaim this point with only 15 seconds on the clock here, J-Max.
It's only 15 seconds left, but Zeno went down in that. Losing their down means McVities can't put up the forward hold. They had Zeno locking down the left side that Curse of Ra are now trying to flood through, and this just gives them such a way back in. the Ubers are roughly equal. Neither team's going to have an advantage of this. It all comes down to who can make the play first. As we see in the house, Scout trying to come through, taking the space. Happy, force back. Scouts contesting to the point for Curse of Ra. Elkir goes down. The house is surrendered on one side, while McVities seem to be winning the fight on the other. But, oh, it's collapsed.
They're just going hard. I mean, Steven's still alive, but too low on HP to actually make the jump onto the point. And first are going to take themselves the first point in this game after basically bullying out McVities out of the point. That defensive hold, what you said before was extremely profound, by the way, JMax. You know, they couldn't set up forward hold without a demo man, so they gave up so much free ground for Curse to just take over and get those better positions to just spam out McVities. And I think, like, when it comes to comparing apples to apples, Cursed just coming out on top when it comes to just raw DM ability. But we're back to the second point once again. We're gonna see some exchanges very soon. poLA quite far forward with the team holding out, taking some spam for his trouble, but he's still keeping the team alive and quite healthy. Curse are not willing to let Wiswan go, but they're gonna start moving in forward as they did before. Worked out once, will work again.
The battle for the left side house though, while Curse of Ra immediately press forward for the right side, but that's Fnatic gone. They've lost both soldiers for one scout. That's not a great trade, and they're now just getting bullied back by the spam coming out from Not Steve, and Shadow running forward. Aless gets piped down. It's not clean, but it's a win for McVities, and they'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, they have Xeno now alive. He could probably set up a little bit far forward, but Cursed are just not waiting at all. They just
got
want to get
on
those
the point.
Nice work.
One set cleared.
Coming in with those sticks. Xeno is doing a lot of work, but Uber's coming out very early from poLA onto Whip Cactus. Coming in, Not Steven with some support. Contra Uber coming out of Ramad as well, keeping the team alive, but it looks like that longer Uber, that milled Uber, is definitely going to work out in Curse's favor as they're taking down two soldiers, and right now, McVities have to fall back and reposition here. Jumping in this new tag, looking for Shadow. He's going to get a nice direct hit there. And looks like dropping another player means that the blue team has to fall back here. They cannot keep on fighting.
No, and they're just being locked out again. They tried to trade Ubers on the point, but while the combos were fighting on the point, the soldiers for McVities just tried to go on the back lines and absolutely were made to pay the price. And now we see here, we've got Not Steven trying to bomb out. They'll lose Whip Cactus almost immediately, and they're just getting crunched in the lobby again. Apollo goes down. Xeno taken so low. Not Steven gone. This is... You said that Curse of Ra seem to have the better DM, and they are forcing McVities to prove them wrong.
Yeah, and it's just looking, that lobby was just like looking at trash compactor just coming down, and they just couldn't do much about it. Losing Apollo as well, that's actually quite huge. Ramad with 100% Uber charge, they can be even more aggressive right now and even force another Uber. Not Steven's jumping in, looking for a force. He gets it. That's a very nice force there out of the soldier. poLA stays alive, jumping in. Xeno looking for some more pickups in the background that are not flashed. Takes a lot of damage from the enemy team, but that is going to be it for that push. They did get what they wanted, so that was the force, and now poLA with 70% Uber charge will be able to pop his one earlier. So now, with those faster respawns as well, they're already back in action, jumping in, rolling in with that scout forward, taking down Karen. Moving in even further, Curse need to get out of the situation, but Alice and Happy are behind. They're in the lobby right now.
And Fnatic threatening to wrap on them as well. They need to go so quickly. Ramad's already back up to 50% Uber charge. Apollo getting bombed and dropped. Oh no, that's dire for McVities. They can't even cap the point now because it'll extend the spawn. Ramad gone on, exploded by Elkir, who just comes in to finish off the work that Whip started. Suddenly, that's not so bad after all, as I can't even tell who's on which side anymore because there are fights going on every single side of the map. Shadow, not long for life in the point, and doesn't manage to cap it out.
He's holding out on his own though. It's a bit of a good old NGE, taking down the demo man, slowing down the respawns as well. That's it's valiant effort, and now with the rest of the team coming in, you're able to stabilize this one. The
10 HP
is gonna get pistoled down. That's not good at all here for McVities, JMax.
Every time this looks as if it's about to stabilize in McVities' favor, someone comes in and proves them wrong. They're just falling apart in lobby right now. Not Stephen will survive on 28 HP, but Apollo went down so low, and a chip shot from Aaron from across the map took him out. And now Ramed, 50% Uber Rad, has his demos, setting up the sticky traps from Happy. Sure, McVities are coming in. Double Soldier Bomb flying into the sky to take the house. You can have the point. We're going to take your medic!
Once again.
It's a game.
Once again, just no one's watching behind, and those soldiers are not going to let this medic run free. And without a medic, now McVities in a lot of trouble, a lot of scrap fighting going on. Rabbit goes down though. That's working out in their favor. They took out a lot of players. Shadow's still alive, and he's shown last round that he can kind of take those fights just fine. They stabilize. They will have slower respawns because of the cap time, which gives Cursed a bit of an advantage here in the next mid, but...
And they can't relinquish the cap time because it's overtime for Curse of Ra.
Correct. Xeno, though, he's already setting up those sticky traps, so it's going to be very important to keep that demo man alive. And now both teams kind of holding out together. Apollo just needs to stay alive a little while longer. Huge damage onto Xeno. Xeno's going to crater there. Not able to be saved by Apollo, who has problems of his own, but no, the cap is just going to go to the way of Cursed. And that's 2-0 on Bagel.
Curse of Ra are just making such a good use out of this left side house. Taking Fnutek in through there to waddle through and bomb around behind and take out Apollo 3 times now. And they were just taking the fight to Curse of Ra or to McVities, forcing them to focus the players, giving their lives away because it got them off the point and gave away the round.
And it's really unfortunate. Now back against the wall here on Bagel for McVities. They really need to get something done. They need to re-strategize the situation because this is not looking too good for them. Stevens jumping in, taking down the flank house and establishing his position. Shadow coming in, but he's going to go down. And now coming from behind, Fnutek once again onto Apollo. Apollo's got no one to help him. Xeno's trying to tank some damage. Stevens is reunited with the medic, now being pestered by the scout, but finally, Steven takes down the scout. Cursed are still flowing through. They haven't even capped the point.
He's
They're
trying
just
to
chasing down the spawn. Trying to get Apollo. Apollo's gonna save himself just in case. And now they need to turn this around because the point has not been capped.
The reset bind comes in clutch, but it's just chaos. Curse of Ra are happy to throw themselves in because they're sacking one soldier to keep the entirety of McVities locked in their own spawn. And sure, they only just capped the point, but they're now sitting in such a comfortable position. I say as the Uber trade goes horribly wrong.
That early force is just going to make Rama fall back. There's still Shadow behind, looking for some kills on the Fnutek, but he's finally going to get cleaned up, but that's good enough. That whole Uber has just gone nowhere. The problem is, with Cactus and not Steven are the only people alive to help Apollo use his Uber charge. They might need to use this right now. It seems that Apollo is just kind of on the fence where what to do, losing both players. Now he's alone. He needs to get out of the situation pronto. That Uber charge is too valuable to lose right now, getting forced. Oh my god, J-Max.
Surely Apollo doesn't survive this. Surely.
No, he's gonna be let go. I think this is fine. It seems that Curse are just happy with taking the point and holding it. You know, they have the Uber charge advantage. Yes. They don't need to chase this one down. Steven's getting
happy.
Yeah.
Oh, demo down. Scouts down.
A lot of scrappy fighting going on with Cactus. Is still going for Alice though. Jumping his Karen, finishing the job here. J-Max is once again, the entire offensive from McVities is just being dismantled one by one and also giving Ramad a very comfortable 100%.
Yeah, it just never seems to go right for McVities. There's always someone from Curse of Ra. I think that attempted Uber trade is the biggest slip up we've seen so far, and just losing your scout beforehand. But they've engineered themselves another, what was 100% Uber advantage. You take that, and they're taking it right into McVities. Apollo, the first one to die. This, I don't want to say it's over, but it's looking kind of over.
It's not looking too good. I can safely say Ramen is just using that Uber charge early. He has that very comfortable Uber advantage to jumping in, collapsing onto the medic in a very narrow space. Nowhere for Apollo to go in from that position. And now they're back to square one with just over a minute left on the clock for Curse to just taking this one home for now. And two scouts just dropping like flies like this to Ron. Looking really good for Curse right now. Alice is still putting up a pressure, trying to keep them at bay. A lot of damage being exchanged, dropping another player. is the blue team here, and McVities once again in a lot of trouble. Apollo low on HP, managing to save themselves just by the skin of their teeth. But
This
the
is
time's
terrifying.
it is. Like I said, I'm rooting for
soldier hiding.
No. Oh, new tech.
not again.
No.
Okay.
Not gonna miss that one.
Okay.
Apollo just cannot stay alive for the life of him. Xeno now with no medic and low HP. There's not much they can do. 30 seconds left on the clock. Ramen once again at 90%. They cannot afford themselves to go for a sack wave and try to force the med now. They just need to push into this.
Ramed has died 3 times. Apollo's died 10. You have to have the better DM now on McVities, and it's not looking good as the full Uber is just coming into their faces. The Thermo Knight trying to take down the soldier. The soldier doesn't quite get the kill. There's the flanker trying to capture the point, but they've lost their entire combo. Ramed is just nowhere near death, as all around him he's just taunting. I mean, this is Chi-Chi. Unless McVities have the comeback of their life.
Oh, they're trying to, but Xeno, just not much they can do. They're just looking for some kills now. Taking out Happy as a consolation prize, but it's 3-0 wash here for Curse of Ramed, and looking very confident going to the second map, basically being one map away from getting those very valuable tickets to the LAN.
Yeah, I said that I didn't think this would be a total sweep. I would like to eat my words. That was clean, decisive. To come back to what you said at the start, again, Curse of Ra turned around and said, okay, we have the better DM. Prove us wrong. And McVities just simply couldn't. How many more times did Apollo die than Ramed?
Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing is that without those heals, you cannot really let your team shine as much as they can. Medic is just such a pivotal character in Team Fortress 2 that if you do lose a med and the other team does not, you are at a significant disadvantage. And you kind of have to force your way into the enemy medic and try to either make them force them from an Uber or kill them. There's no other way. Otherwise, you're just going to be down a minute on the timer. And for a Koth map like this, that's just quite critical. But we're moving in.
Yeah. Strategies. In fairness, they did try, throwing every player they had at Ramed. Didn't work. They did try taking the fight to Ramed. Worked a couple of times, but only in the post. We've lost our medic. We have to kill yours. Chaos. So it never looked good for McVities. And on Bagel, having a medic is vital because of the spam damage you take. But as we move on now to Snakewater, if you don't have heals, you can't really make any of the big soldier bombs and any of the plays that you have to on a map like this.
Yeah, that is true. And at the same time, it's not going to be as much of a domination, I would say, whenever you lose a point. You can kind of stabilize. If you lose a point, you lose a bunch of players. Usually you may lose another point if you've lost too many, but it's not like a decided thing. You can still turn around. And McVities will probably be looking at this because seeing how Cursed are playing this game around, I mean, you can kind of see the difference in terms of the experience that both teams got. Div 2 versus Div 4. You can see that the coordination between the players on Curse team is just such a much more cohesive experience, whereas on McVities it's a little bit more scrappy. Like, they've got some flashes of brilliance here or there. They can do certain things. They know how roughly to do this, but they still lack that kind of glue, that kind of strategy that Cursed have. And I think at this point this is the diff, as they say.
I think it's a damage diff right now as we
multiple
look at the logs.
Let's put it this way.
That's a horrible log to be looking at, but I think the player that stands out most for me, or the two players that stand out most, are Happy, comfortable 365 DPM, and Aless going 26 and 9. If you have a scout popping off and you have a demo popping off, mids are going to get very, very difficult for McVities.
Yeah, but we're gonna see how this one pans out here on Snakewater. McVities versus Curse of Ramed. First map going to Curse of Ramed, so now they're looking at sealing the deal with another point, securing themselves the victory tonight. But we're looking at demos coming in, both roughly the same time. Xeno and Happy doing a pretty good job rolling out. Now they're putting out some sticks on both sides. Now Aelkir jumping in, so is not Steven. They're doing this double bombs. Walk off into Ramid, that's not going to be enough. Now 3 players falling down to the side of the blue. Now Apollo with just with Shadow, they need to run away. They need to save themselves. They need to use that scout speed to get out of the situation because there's a bunch of hungry sharks looking for them. 2 scouts on the soldier. Oh no, Shadow goes down Apollo by himself, running away. And it looks like it's going to be able to survive this one. 3 players giving chase, but somehow Apollo managed to live. Midpoint, however, still uncapped.
And that could make all the difference. They have to leave someone behind to cap mid, which means that for McVities, there is an opening for them to push out onto second here. And they don't have an Uber disadvantage. They in fact have an Uber advantage because of the chase. So they're going to send their soldiers sacking in. Apollo, though, being trapped, being spammed down, has to use, and Ramid is nowhere near getting forced.
Yeah, Ramid's just happy camper there behind that little lip, so he's able to just kind of dodge away most of the damage. And now they're pushing through the underside, through the basement, coming in onto the point. Blue team is nowhere to be seen. There's nothing to be set up. No one's on the point right now. Uber comes out, actually stopping the cap. Aelkir jumping in, trying to push the teams away. Now there's a bit of a scrap fight there. 2 soldiers going down. Apollo on the point, gonna get blown up. The scout is the last man standing, and with a full white, first point goes to Curse of Ramid here, J-Max.
That took slightly less than 2 minutes, and that went from... It looked almost good from McVities. They almost were able to push out, but Curse of Ra did the same thing that they did on Bagel, sent someone flanking in, forced Apollo's Uber in the lobby, and McVities just couldn't get anything done with their Uber charge. They had to back up, and they had nothing set up on Ra on last to defend against Curse of Ra.
Yeah, it is not looking too good for McVie so far. I mean, they're probably feeling a bit down after the first map. I don't think they had very high hopes going after a higher seeded team to begin with, but I'm hoping that they are not giving up just yet. Double bomb once again. Aelkir and Steven coming hard onto Ramid, taking down
this time.
That's huge.
Apollo, though, knocked up onto the flanks, 30 HP, being run at, and this time unable to escape. This is such a better mid for Mr. McVitie's land-standing hobnobs. Xeno will escape, but they tried almost the same strat as before. 2 double high bombs, Xeno even getting a kill on the retreat, very nice. And this time, the high bombs got exactly what they wanted. Curse of Ra sitting at about a 50% Uber ad, maybe 40. But they are now going to actually be able to take seconds, sit there, and actually try to make something happen themselves now. They've got about 15 seconds to do so.
Yeah, they need to figure some kind of way, strategy against Curse of Ra, because it is just looking not that great for them at the moment, but I believe in that. I believe in them. Those double bombs definitely made things happen before, and they're making things happen again. 2 kills there. Aaron happy going down for the price of 2 other players.
But they're in behind the
Nutek
game
coming in
from
onto Apollo. Yeah, now Alice cleaning up the job. No more medic for McVies. Ramid's still alive though with just Karen to heal. 80% Uber charge. They're just happy to roll back to mid, wait for reinforcements. They have nothing to lose, and with that Uber charge in tow, they can just force their way in any point they'd like. Now Steven and Shadow are gonna go back, get some heals up, but looks like it's going to be last point hold once again.
Yeah, McVitie's trying to get the force out early, trying to get the med pick by sending those high bombs over grass, but that meant that their flank was committed to that, and it allowed Curse of Ra to do the same play that they've done the whole time, send someone in behind, cause chaos. This time, it worked well enough to force Mr. McVitie's onto last. And so this Uber going to be coming out through the shutter, immediately onto the sentry as... Hello, Ron goes down immediately. That's not good. Sentry does eventually go down, but they are going to be contesting for this house here. As the bomb comes out onto the point, it's immediately blown up by Xeno. This is just a lost last push. Immensely bungled. How? Jake, explain to me. How is that happening? Ramid will beat Xeno up.
Get ahead of
escape, thank God.
Oh, I'm so happy that Ramid didn't manage to live after this one, and with this staggered kill on the med, it's actually really good. I don't know why Ramid didn't just press a kill bind there. I think he should have, because right now it's not having med for such a long time. It's kind of a problem here for Curse, but the reason why they didn't really manage is because they pushed through shutters, and I think the scout just got launched towards the sentry, losing that Uber, and the sentry just finished the job. There was nothing for the scout to do, just being bad spot, bad plays, and bad time, essentially. So they're losing a couple of players, and good DM there on the side where the Uber wasn't, actually won them that point. So now they've got themselves the second point. They're still kind of looking for some scrap fights here, left, right, and center, but the Uber charge is in their advantage. They should use this very soon, looking where the medic is, but they're really far back. They should get this midpoint free.
They're going to get it for free, and they might have a window to push this, but I don't think at this time of the game you do. And no, Xeno's just going to set up some tracks, and they're going to sit back comfortably. If there's 4 minutes on the clock, you try and push on that advantage. But right now, you stabilize, and you try and send one of your soldiers in to make a play, and you hope that the sniper of LS doesn't put a giant stopper in any plans you have.
Sniper is definitely going to be a bit of a problem, but they're going to deal with what they can. And huge bomb here, but Aether is going to kill himself. Ramen, however, getting that Uber charge popped. That's actually quite big because Apollo still has his. They are so far back. They're not really worried about any sort of pushes here. Fnatic trying to gain some ground from the saw.
Apollo is so close.
Nah, but Fnatic just took too much damage from his trouble. Karen coming from behind, looking for Apollo, missing the shot, dropping there. The player is Apollo. Now he's all by himself. Aelker is nowhere to be seen, and that Uber charge is just gonna have to use it to run away. But with 2 scouts on the soldier just blocking the way, this is just a slaughter, JMX. I don't even want to look.
They sent in a scout and a soldier to force the Uber out from Curse of Ra on second, but McVities was just holding so close that Curse of Ra was coming from low, wrap around, and just killed everybody a microsecond before the McVities Uber came out. And now Curse of Ra absolutely into the driving seat, massive Uber advantage, and McVities holding last again. Have Curse of Ra learned how to push it?
I mean, they pushed the first one just fine, but that was mostly because there was no one else on the point. So that kind of was given out for free by McVities. But I think they've learned their lesson, and now they're holding up the shutter. Seems that they've noticed that most of the team is just gathering their Ubers coming out. Once again, great pop there. Happy's just getting disconnected. Good flash there from Ramen, however, locking down the left side. Sentry going down, and Xeno as well, followed up. A lot of damage being exchanged at the point. Ubers fizzled out by now. Alice and low in HP gonna get picked up by Steven. That's good pickup there. And it's one by one, they're dismantling this offensive. Happy, Aaron, and Ramen still alive. They're still fighting for it. They're taking down Steven 3v3 at the moment, but the point is still on cap and on checked. 2 scouts protecting Apollo, and Apollo with 100% Uber charge. They will be able to kind of keep this in tow for another push. I don't think they can get the second out of this, but they're looking a little bit like they want to.
I really don't think they should. They don't have the players who have only just been respawning. Ramat is so close to Uber that pushing would be a mistake they're not going to make, thank God. But again, the Uber just came into last and got entirely split up. The sentry was on the entire opposite side, so that they pushed through from shutter. So when they tried to swing across, it just did not work. This time, sentry is back in the spot we normally see it. There's a heavy on top of the point, and Curse of Ra are just going to try and bully their way in with this Fnatic sniper.
Fnatic is taking a lot of damage for his trouble, jumping in Steven, but not before with Cactus getting headshot in the face. Now, 3 players down the side of blue. They still have that sentry gun. Now, just finished. Shadow needs to get out of the situation. Apollo getting
but let's get juggled in.
No. Chasing down Ramad right now, but no. Ramad's going to keep that Uber.
The Uber and the player advantage, and it's just going to come in. Xeno explodes, and this should be a 1 round unless these respawning soldiers have anything to say. They take out Karen. They'll do a lot of damage, but is it enough? It might be. It just might be.
Oh, Fnatic's just respawned, and he's coming in hard, taking now Apollo to half HP. Soldier's gonna go down now with Cactus in a lot of trouble. It looks like, even though they had that player advantage, they managed to almost turn this around with those respawn waves coming in just in the nick of time to punch this point in. And Curse of Ramad getting themselves a second one on the board, 3 away from walking out with a victory.
3 rounds away from going to poLANd. And that last push was terrifying in so many ways. It was poised on a knife's edge for so long. But what I'm curious about this mid, who I'm looking at, are the McVities soldiers. Twice they've tried high bombs. One time it worked, one time it didn't. What are they going to go for this time?
I'm actually looking at Steven right now. He's setting up a position, and so is Aelcare. They're on both sides. I kind of like this little bit of coordination. They're going to wait for a good opportunity to jump in. Steven's going to look for some scrap fight, but he's going to get a bunch of damage in his face. Aelcare jumping in, but without his buddy, not much they can do. They take down Aaron to low HP, but that's it. Both soldiers dead on the side of blue, and now blue team needs to run away. Shadow getting caught in the crossfire, and that direct hit coming out from Flutek. I think they were just ready for this time around. Two soldiers bombing in, might as well just take him down. And now jumping in is Flutek and Charon, still chasing Aaron, jumping in and joining the fight. Apollo is just having his hands full healing all these players. But once again, they're just getting bullied out, and still the chase keeps up, J-Max.
It still keeps up. Aaron, looking to take an Uber trade here, will be forced out from McVities, will be forced out, but you're taking an Uber trade on your own last point. When this fades, Apollo and Whip are just going to explode. You see the bomb now coming in from the red soldiers, one after the other, to take this high ground, and Curse and McVities have just been locked into their own spawn, locked onto the last point by Curse of Ra, but they're spending so many lives to lock them in there that McVities survive with the loss of Apollo. I was about to say that McVities hold, but nope. Apollo just can't have nice things today.
No, Apollo is just having a very bad day. I mean, for a god of sun, it doesn't quite look like it's a sunny time for him.
It is not shining.
Most of the time, he's being ferried over by Charon on this river Styx, but it is what it is. You just gotta have to keep yourself up, respawn, and keep on going. But with that Uber Dizhad on Apollo, it's not really looking too good for them. Cursed are already going through the basement, moving on to the shutters, I think. Yep, they're moving on to the shutters, gonna get ready to pop any second now and just pushing with all their might and force. Coming in, that sentry is gonna slow them down just a little bit, but it's not enough. Getting on the point right now is Aaron, cleaning up those sticks. Most of the blue team is hiding in spawn right now, but they need to get someone on the point before they actually get capped. Steven, huge bomb, but it was too high. Shadow needs to get on the point right now, and it's not gonna be enough. Playing too safe there are McVities, and losing themselves another point with their backs against the wall. They need to start like cooking up some crazy strats, because it looks like Curse of Ra is the one to be at LAN.
Yeah, those tickets are Supra's already writing the names on them. LS, Aaron. It's not quite got down to Fnutek and Karen yet, but we'll see what happens as we roll out onto this next mid. McVities, they've tried high bombs, kind of worked. They've tried not high bombing, didn't really work. So we'll see what happens now as this high ground is being fought over. Fnutek tries to go, and Karen just gets shoved out. But here come the high bombs. Demo is so weak. Not Steven, Craters on the high ground. This is a bloodbath here.
Yeah, Ilkir still fighting, going really sky high, hitting the hitbox, going for the meg, gets one rocket in, and ultimately pays the high price of just dying to his own rocket. Valiant effort there by the soldier, but not valiant enough. Fnutek chasing down once again. They're really hungry. They really want to just give chase, but gonna get killed and destroyed there in the upper lobby. And now Shadow is just basically spearheading this situation. Gonna go down as well. Losing players, leading players here are McVities, and that's not looking too good. Karen, however, getting picked up in the bottom might actually open up some opportunities.
The Uber, but Apollo is so deep. They're going to have to use this entire Uber to get out. Surely you just have to get out here. Apollo is so committed, but there's no one in position from Curse of Ra to punish, really. And so the fight just carrying on grass. But again and again, the DM just seems to let them down as Curse of Ra just slowly feed McVities into the grinder. Biscuit paste for tea, I guess.
I'm pretty sure this is some kind of British thing. I am too European to understand. But Apollo here fighting for his life. Both medics at the equal Uber's charge. But look at the damage. Look at the just absolute force of nature that Curse of Ra is just coming in, cleaning up 3 players. 15 seconds on the respawn queue. That's a lot. They peeking up Apollo with a fadeaway shot as he was about to reach safety. Now Shadow's the last one standing, but it's not going to be enough. And that's a 4th point on the board for Curse of Ra with no real response from McVities, as we're basically down to the wire in this game. And yeah, well, Supra adding another name to the list of tickets for the LAN spots.
This is map point, this is series point, this is LAN point. Curse of Ra, how are you going to seal the deal? McVities, can you stop them? Because I don't think McVities have won a single mid. I think their closest option has been drawing, so we'll see what they're able to do on what might be potentially the final mid of this series.
Oh, Steven, interesting. He's going all below now. Just kind of waiting. Sees Ramit. 1 rocket, 2 rockets. Ramit jumps out in the safe spot, but no, Steven's not going to waste this opportunity. He's going to destroy the medic. That's a huge pickup by Polo on the other side. Getting cleaned up by Happy, and that is not looking good. Only 2 players alive out of this absolute mess of a situation. And this time around, it's McVities that coming out on top.
Only 2 players live, but they're both from McVities. That time, they were able to take it so much closer to Curse of Ra, managed to get the kill, but again, a soldier slipped into the back lines, juggled Apollo around in Saw and took him out. And it's even Ubers now, as Curse of Ra, they don't, Aless doesn't want to give up the mid, maybe should have, as they've now lost Aless and Fnutek for that, and McVities are knocking on the door of their second, as Aaron looks to fight from Saw.
And the interesting situation is developing right now, jumping in behind as Steven taking a high spot, taking down Karen. Actually, Karen blowing himself up. And now the medic needs to get out from underneath. Ramit, they're just deciding to fall back. They don't want to risk this one. They've lost 1 player. And they're like, you know what? Why are we risking this? We are safe and sound. We can probably hold last much better than the seconds, and second is quite hard to hold for a defensive team. And this is the first time McVities have ever seen the red side of the map, and I'm pretty sure it looks quite unfamiliar to them this game around. But we'll see how they do it. They lose Steven and Whip Cactus, so they're probably going to back off a little bit and let Curse of Ra push into this. Fnutek coming in with a bomb, but he's not going to find any purchase. Shadow taking a lot of damage on him. Karen coming in as well, looking for a Polo, taking 1 rocket in. But unfortunately, the manager's door has been closed. No manager to be seen. Karen gets escorted out of the premises.
Yeah, they tried to go in fast there on Curse of Ra, but they just weren't able to convert their player ad, and they just lost so many players of their own. Apollo now playing so close to the truck. This is terrifying. You've lost your demo, you've lost your scout, you've used your Uber. Shadow trying now desperately to force the Uber out from Curse of Ra, but they're just not going to use. Ramed sitting there, I'm fine. He's so not fine.
How did that even happen? How does that even happen that you drop a medic Uber in the situation that you're in, Ramed?
He was staring Shadow in the eyes like, I dare you to hit these shots. And Shadow turns around and says, yeah, I'm hitting these shots. Good luck. As now, McVities, they're coming in, they're just running in through last. Curse of Ra, do they have enough players left to defend this? The spawn times are so long, but McVities, they're just losing so many players. Zeno, can you win a 1v3? No.
Now, nice valiant effort, but unfortunately it's not close enough, and now Ramit respawning and surviving this fight means that they're now going to be able to hold quite a significant
Shadow's
Uber
still
advantage.
fighting in lobby, gets the pick.
There's
no time
going
for
for last.
Is there?
No, the sticks. Happy was ready. You're not
But
going
now
to pull this
is
all demo.
the only one on second all of a sudden. Spammed out into lobby on half HP as the rest of the team come to back him up. But the soldiers from McVities are here and making their presence felt. Ramid is so low. Elka goes down, but the fight on grass here, surely you can't hold this for Curse of Ra.
No.
Never mind, they've killed everyone.
Yes. Well, that's a Cody I've ever heard one. But yeah, Curse of Ra just basically mopping the floor. They just kind of picking off players one by one. Apollo struggling to keep up the heals, and now had to run all the way back to second, their own second once again, to reunite with the team and keep whatever the Uber charge that they have in store still active. Now Ramit has Uber charge advantage. Steven, huge bomb on Ramit, looking for maybe a force, maybe a drop. Ramit is just surfing this one away, losing both soldiers. Our McVities, they're gonna probably get on the second point, not
Still
really contested.
No, but Curse of Ra, they're just looking. They don't have many players. They're still respawning, but they're just going to take this Uber out through last. They've immediately got the force out from McVities. They decide to use themselves, which they should have a better Uber. But it's just a matter of, can you take this positioning, can you take this high ground, and can you convert it into a round win?
Now they're kind of looking for the point, looking for the DM right now. Curse, they're just kind of looking for those players to kill because they just want this point so bad. They want to go home and go to sleep. And McVities are still holding on. Now Alice is trying to fight that combo, getting on the point, getting a lot of cap time. The shadow coming in. Now Karen looking for the medic pickup, but they're just throwing players one by one. Solo with HP and Ramen with a kill there onto Steven. Oof, that goes in the compilation.
It goes in the compilation, but I don't know if Ramen survives this.
Don't worry about
Won't be chased all the way by the scouts, but oh, that was so close, and they're still not out of the woods yet. Here comes the soldier bomb. Doesn't quite take out Xeno. Ramed sitting on grass, running forward as if he wants to trade an Uber he doesn't have, but Apollo gets bombed on the backlines by Karen, taken out. Just chaos and destruction everywhere.
Steven still trying to keep this dream alive, but
wipe.
Yep, and last point is completely uncontested. 60% onto Ramed. Now going in as Curse, they want to get on that point. Nutex is low on the point. It's slow because it's just a soldier, but it's not slow enough for McVities to get back in. And sadly for McVities, they are going to wave those player tickets goodbye as Curse of Ramed take the victory.
Well played to Mr. McVities. That was a good game, but ultimately one team was better. Only one team can win. And congratulations to Curse of Ra. We'll see you in Poland because they are the final team to qualify for poLANd.tf 2025.
What a game. I mean, I was hoping for McVities to kind of maybe get a point here, you know, just kind of prove a point.
Been nice.
Prove a point, but it just kind of shows that Curse of Ra is the team to be. And considering the teams that are coming to Poland this year and the stakes that are there, it's just going to be quite a difficult show. You know, Curse of Ra might have a good time now, but when it comes to actual game time, actual game in a LAN setting in front of other players, computer to computer, next to one another, it's a completely different setting, and you could be seeing a lot of upsets. So enjoy the time, but don't get complacent is my advice.
Yes, it's one thing to do it online. It's another to do it when on the opposing team is Pomas and Lucas Tank, and sitting behind you are Mac and Piggles screaming the house down. I'm sure Curse of Ra are looking forward to it, but LAN is a different beast.
Exactly. I mean, after the German LAN that we hosted a couple of months ago, the energy is just so good. So I'm hoping to see McVities at LAN as well. You know, the spectator tickets that Super S promising may materialize in your inboxes soon enough. So just keep a lookout. But yeah, should we even look at the logs, G-Max?
I'm scared. I don't know if I want to see these.
Just real quick, you know, just to send this one off.
And a reminder, of course, if you want to donate to the cost of poLANd.tf, you can either visit donate.poLANd.tf or you can buy, I think, exclusive LAN merch at merch.poLANd.tf. All support is appreciated because LAN is not cheap, and apparently neither are the lives of Mr. McVities' players.
Yeah, well, we get all the links in the chat as well, and you can probably find them online. So there's multiple ways you can actually help us out, and it is a community event after all. We're not being sponsored by Valve, unfortunately, so we have to source everything ourselves to keep this going. And with the energy we've got behind production, it's always good to have that, but we do need that financial support just to get the essentials covered. But like I said, looking at the logs very, very quick. Dominated the top line here by Alice, Happy, and Aaron with above 20 kills each, pumping out very respectable damage. Happy with 7,360 DPM on the demo man, so basically it's not really surprising. Not Steven, however, is the fourth one on the list with 17 kills himself, 5,000 damage. So Steven definitely giving a showing to Curse of Ra. It's just that the rest wasn't really kind of keeping up with the momentum that Steven was creating. And that was it. Healing-wise, roughly equal. I mean, Ramen definitely with an advantage in terms of pops and the amount of healing done. Apollo lagging a bit behind, but that's also because of the amount of times that Apollo has died compared to Ramad, and that's about half as much. So yeah, logs do not lie. It's very easy to read numbers from a page. So how about we wrap this up, J-Max, and what's the next game coming up?
Next game coming up will be on Thursday. Here, same time, same place for ETF12's Week 3, which is reigning champions Forfence against Danish Tyrant Regime, who I believe came through the qualifiers to make it into Frem. So that'll be interesting to see how much damage Amps and Co can do to the reigning champions of Europe. And then we have another match on Sunday, Antiside versus Garda Panteri, also on Essentials.tf. So links are in the chat, so you know where to find all the content, because there is so much content, so many matches, there's so much TF2 right now, Jake.
Yeah, and I'm all excited for it. But this is going to be it for TF2 tonight. For us, we're going to be signing off. This has been Jake. Tonight with me was the esteemed J-Max. I'm very happy to have you here, and very happy you could make it. And with Stu on production, wrapping us. Oh no, I'm gonna get used to it. I'm gonna coax you into casting some more matches with me, man. You need some kind of counterbalance between me spitting words coherently or incoherently versus actual good analysis, man. Like, don't sell yourself short. You're good. You should just jump over from production. But wrapping this one up, Stu, thank you so much for producing this one for us. And we'll see you guys in the next match. Stay tuned on Thursday at 21:15 CET, Central European Time. That's been Jake. See you. Good night.